Hello, wonderful ladies. Welcome back to Soulful Sessions, where we soften, slow down, and reconnect with what's sacred within. I'm your host, Jessica Clarice, and just for today, we are just going to be vibing, and I am going to be sharing some cliff notes, details, and tea of what I have been doing for the last month or two. If I jumble over my words, I'm just trying to be myself, and I'm not trying to hit record too many times. Just keep deleting again and again. So, where have I been for the last month or two? So, if you follow my social media, you probably caught wind of me attending a Donna certified doula training program that was in Jamestown at the end of March. And yes, I am a trained doula. I'm not certified. Certification will come once I attend a few births and do some other things to be Donna certified. But for now, I can attend another woman's childbirth. It started in the beginning of May. I took my childbirth education classes, and then I waited a little bit to the end of the month and did my 3-day training program, which consisted of lactation support, how to make doula to be your being a doula be your business. Sorry, and basically more further childbirth education. And it was definitely a lightning experience. The doula who trained us, her name was Nikhil Lawson, who is a very blessed and amazing woman who was very knowledgeable. She taught us the history of childbirth, what they have been doing to marginalize and Black women. I'm not going to get into that. She definitely shed a lot of information onto the whole class, and it was a beautiful 3-day experience, and I would do it all over again. And even if I don't really see the other people that I connected with in the classroom, I know that eventually we will meet each other down the road at a later time when it is, needed. But yes, I was doing my due diligence and training to be a birthing doula, and I kept it under wraps. Normally, I like to share things that I'm learning, but this is one of the things that I felt like, you know what? I'm going to keep it under wraps because sometimes moving in silence is what's needed. Especially if you don't want to throw yourself off, because sometimes we'll be like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then we end up don't doing it because we just set it for a show and there's no accountability. And so I had to teach myself accountability to put myself out there and push myself forward to going for this. And I've always been interested in being a doula, and it was after my cousin's when I went there to the hospital when she was about to give birth to her first child, and I'm seeing the interaction between her and the doctors. It was after that I was solid in my decision. I was like, you know what? I know I thought about being a doula before and been thinking about it for the last few years. I think it's time to actually step up. And I had an opportunity that came to me where I was able to get my training done and get the resources that I need to help push me forward. But yes, I am right now not taking clients. I do have one client that's possibly pending. I gotta meet them. But other than that, I'm not officially taking anybody. I figure I'll wait a little bit until after I'm done with the mentoring program, which is basically like extra training. And I want to do the mentoring program because it gives me the opportunity to shadow a seasoned doula and see how they go about tending to other moms and in their kids' needs. Now, other than that, I did have a little bit of like I would say like, it's not a spiritual awakening, but a little bit of a epiphany when I got back from Jamestown. I got sick. Now, when I mean I got sick, I got sick. I had a upper respiratory infection, and the whole thing lasted about 2 weeks or maybe 2.5 weeks. It crept up on me a few days after I got back, and then it got worse. Then it got to a point where I had a fever of 103 for like 2, 3 days, and I'm thinking maybe I should take myself to urgent care. But then, after much needed rest, some Tylenol, chicken noodle soups later, I got better. But I still had that weird, like when you have the upper respiratory infection, you get that gurgly cough. You cough hard. And then even if the cough is gone, you still get like that gurgly feeling in your throat when you talk for a while. Because you see, right now, I've been talking for the last 6 minutes. I would have, last week or the week before, I would have been clearing my throat every 2 seconds. And nah, I can't stand that. I can't do it. Sorry, I took a sip of water. And I said to myself, I'm going to wait until I am fully recovered from this before I would make any videos, because it was just like frustrating me. And then I realized why I got sick. I was also trying to keep up with the Joneses. I was not in my feminine energy. And let me explain. So, we all have idols and whatnot, and we all want to try to emulate our idols. Now, for me, I have several idols across social media, several beautiful Black women that I love to follow, and I basically visualize myself as being as successful as them. And I figured that the best way to be successful is to like get into my skill set, as well as try to do content creation. And the thing is, I can't just constantly create like them. I'm not them. They have all the time in the world to make video after video and plan content. They have a whole team. I don't have a whole team. And so I was trying to do a million things all at once on top of like 10 things. 10 to the things in my life, and it just wasn't working out. And so I was doing way too much, and my body got stressed out, and it triggered a sickness. I mean, it didn't help that Jamestown, basically, I went from Buffalo being 50 degrees to like when I crossed a certain threshold point going into Jamestown, it was a snowstorm. And I was like, what the fuck? That didn't help. That sudden weather change, it didn't help me at all. But yeah, sometimes when we women take ourselves out of our feminine energy and we go into our masculine hustle, and that's what I was doing. I was going into like the masculine hustle, and my body was like, no, please don't. We need to rest. My body forced me to rest. It was like, now you have a virus. Now you're going to rest. You're going to listen. And so I started listening to what my body needs, and I kept away from social media. I already don't like being on social media all the time because that's not how I want to live my life. I don't like doom scrolling. I just want to be present here within my own home and within like the outside world, and just vibe out that way. But of course, I love sharing the things that I've learned. And that's how like where my authenticity comes from, is me being a storyteller, me being a teacher. And when I'm doing things like that, like learning new things, that's me being my feminine energy. See, when I was in Jamestown, I was learning. I was in my feminine energy. It may seem like it's masculine because it's, a little bit of action, but no, it's feminine energy because you're right there learning, you're connecting. And when I'm learning something that is interesting, I'm at peace. I'm at the most ultimate peace and I'm flowing. Everything is fluid for me. I'm a water sign. But when I am hustling, then I just turn all types of like weird and I get ill sometimes. But there are times where we have to basically do a little bit of a hustle. We have to work some overtime, which I've been doing lately to keep up with things. And that's okay as long as we're not trying to basically maintain that as like our whole lives, like every day. I know for me personally, I can't maintain something every day just working, 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 work. I can't. I would I would rip my hair out again. But yes, that's where I've been and why I haven't really been on here. As well as I haven't really thought about coming back on here. It wasn't like it was a dire need. In the beginning, like I did feel bad about not sharing any podcast videos. I felt bad not updating my Instagram as often until I talked to myself and I basically said that I am not my podcast and I am not my Instagram. I am me, and me likes to share things with other people and be, present and open, and that's okay. And so I didn't really feel too bad about not being on here and worry about like, oh my God, I'm not going to have like subscribers and followers. But I feel like I'm just rambling on. But yes, my mindset has been more geared towards like connecting more with my feminine flow and not letting my masculine side overtake that. Everything needs to have a balance. I mean, there are sometimes there's going to be, situations where I need a little bit of masculine energy more, and then there's going to be times where I need a little bit more feminine energy. But I have to be mindful of that. I'm not just either working myself to death or just sitting on my ass and absolutely doing not a damn thing. But yes, that is just about it what I wanted to share. Keep an eye out for more episodes in the future. Yes, I am going to be recording some stuff. I am going to give you a little bit of it, let you in on what I want to record. I definitely want to go over about a woman's menstrual cycle because I do feel like that a lot of women are not aware about how the menstrual cycle works outside of you bleed for a few days, you might be in pain, and then that's it. You will see your period sometime next month. That's it. That's all we are taught in school, and that we can't have sex at any time or else we will just instantly get pregnant. There's a lot of things that school health classes did not teach us that we are definitely unaware of, and I feel like that the standard of teaching definitely pulls women away from how powerful their womb is and how much we need to take care of it. Until then, it was nice sharing my little story with you guys. I hope this episode has given you, a little bit of a laugh and something to look forward to in the future. All right, until then, keep nurturing the sacred within you. Stay blessed.